All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving deep today, and this time it's all about budgeting. That thing everyone loves to do.
The most wonderful time of the year, right?
Exactly. Especially for those of you in the B2B e-commerce world. So, whether you're just getting your feet wet with a brand new platform or thinking about switching things up, this deep dive is for you.
We're going to dig deep, unearth some of those hidden costs that can really make or break your project. You know, those things that you don't really think about until, bam, they hit you?
Exactly. Because, let's be honest, B2B e-commerce,
Mm.
it's not as simple as just throwing up a Shopify store and calling it a day.
Right. Not even close. There's a whole lot more going on beneath the
And a
surface.
lot of those costs, honestly, a lot of folks just don't even realize they exist. And that can be a huge problem.
Huge. I mean, think about it. If you don't factor these costs in right from the start,
Oh, it's a disaster waiting to happen.
exactly. Budget overruns, delays, it can really derail the whole project, and no one wants that.
And it's not just about the immediate impact, right? Like those initial hiccups.
It's the long game. Think long term. Because those early investments you make in the right areas, well, they can prevent some major headaches down the road. Trust me.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Let's talk about these hidden cost drivers. And the first one that we have to talk about is product catalogs. Everyone wants a massive product catalog, right? Tons of SKUs, all the custom configurations you can dream up. Sounds fantastic.
Sounds fantastic in theory.
Right. But that's where things can get complicated.
Complicated is an understatement. I mean, from a technical standpoint, you're talking about managing massive amounts of data, right?
Yeah.
You might need specialized software just to handle it all.
Right. And then you have to think about your website. You need to make sure that it's easy for people to navigate
Hmm.
because, no one wants to get lost in a sea of SKUs.
No one. You've
Right.
got to be intuitive. And the more complex your catalog, the more difficult that becomes.
Speaking of complex, let's talk about integrations.
Oh, boy. Integrations. This is a big one.
It's a big one. Because we're talking about connecting all these different systems, right? Your ERP system, your CRM, your e-commerce platform, all talking to each other. It's like trying to solve one of those, those puzzles.
Like those 1,000-piece puzzles?
Yes, except each piece is from a different puzzle.
And sometimes the pieces don't even fit, but you gotta make them fit. And that's where the real costs come in, because you're often looking at custom development work, middleware solutions, all that fun stuff.
Fun for the developers, maybe?
Exactly. But seriously, smooth data flow between these systems is absolutely critical. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where you're promising a customer a product that's not actually in stock.
Right. Talk about a customer service nightmare.
Nightmare. So yeah, integrations, definitely something to factor in.
So we've got complex catalogs, we've got these integrations. What about order processing?
This audio session is brought to you by Corevist, your go-to B2B e-commerce platform for manufacturers using SAP. Whether you run ECC, S/4HANA, or are migrating to clean core operations with SAP BTP, Corevist integrates seamlessly with your ERP, enhancing customer experiences and streamlining operations. Ready to transform your e-commerce strategy? Visit corevist.com to learn more.
I mean, I can imagine if you're still doing things manually
Oh, if you're still relying on manual order processing, you're going to have a bad time.
because it's slow, it's prone to errors, and honestly, it just doesn't meet the expectations of B2B buyers today.
Right. They want that Amazon experience. They want self-service. They want to track their order every step of the way. If you can't provide that, they're going to go somewhere else.
So automation, really key here.
Absolutely. Invest in a system that can streamline that entire process. From order placement to fulfillment, make it as smooth as possible.
Okay, what else do we have on the list of hidden cost drivers? We've got customer support, right? You can't forget about customer support.
Absolutely not. B2B customers, they tend to have more complex needs. They need more hand-holding, more personalized support. They're not just buying a pair of socks on Amazon. These are big purchases critical to their business.
Right, so we're talking dedicated support staff, 24/7 availability, knowledge bases, all that good stuff.
All of that. And that kind of support, it doesn't come cheap.
And security, that's a big one.
Security is huge. Absolutely non-negotiable.
Especially in B2B,
Mm-hmm.
where you're dealing with sensitive data.
Exactly. You need to invest in encryption, secure payment gateways, regular security audits. It's an ongoing process.
And those costs can really add up.
They can. But you can't afford to skimp on security. Not in this day and age.
Okay, so we've talked about product catalogs, integrations, order processing, customer support, security. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, scalability.
Scalability, that's the dream, right? More orders, more traffic, more customers. But your platform needs to be able to handle it.
Because if it can't.
You're going to run into bottlenecks, your site might slow down, you could even lose customers.
So plan for the future. Make sure your platform can grow with you.
Exactly. And then there's one final cost that a lot of people overlook.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Technology upkeep. Those legacy systems, they might seem like a cost saver in the short term, but trust me, they will come back to bite you.
In what way?
Well, they become harder and harder to maintain. Security risks increase. Integrating them with newer tools becomes a nightmare. It's a ticking time bomb.
So it's like driving an old car. You might think you're saving money on a new car payment, but those repair bills will get you in the end.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've unearthed a ton of hidden costs. For those of you listening feeling a little overwhelmed, maybe even a little terrified, it's okay.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But the key takeaway here is that planning is essential.
Absolutely. And it all boils down to your specific needs and goals. What kind of product catalog do you have? What are your security requirements? How quickly do you anticipate growing?
Answer those questions, and you'll start to get a clearer picture of where you need to focus your budget.
Exactly.
All right, folks, that's it for our deep dive into B2B e-commerce budgeting. Remember, it's not just about the upfront costs. It's about making those strategic investments that will set you up for success in the long run.
Think long term. Play the long game, and you'll be just fine.
Great advice. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into a new and exciting topic. Until then, happy budgeting.
Happy budgeting.